Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Nationwide, reaching you live on the network service of the NTA. We hope you're keeping safe out there. I'm Ruth Aguilera. Well, we hear that after a reunion with their families, talking about the freed students of GSS Kankara are picking up their lives for the better. Our correspondent Shehu Adamu joins us live now from Kankara town, and he's going to tell us what's happening, how are some of them coping. Shehu, what can you tell us right now?
Yes, thank you very much. Let me just start by saying that the situation here in Kankara is calm and quiet, and the mood is very economic activities, and people are going about their normal activities. You know, Kankara is located along the major highway from Katsina to Faskari, where the Sufa 4 camp is located, and as you can see behind me, people are going about their normal activities, and so far so good in Kankara.
Been able to reach out to some of the freed students. What is life like for them, you know, after the whole experience? You know, what did they tell you if you've been able to meet them?
Yes, sir. The rescued student that have already reunited with their families are doing very well, have already adapted to the normal lifestyle. I had earlier on discussed with Aliyu Kabir, one of the JS2 students who was among the rescued students. He has already gone into normal activities, and a few others that we spoke to earlier on have demonstrated high sense of adoption into the normal life.
Okay, thank you very much, Shehu. It's good to know that they are already picking up, you know, with their lives. Thank you for that update. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's look at all the rising from the legislature. Senate has passed the 2021 appropriation bill of 13.5 trillion naira, 505 billion naira higher than the figure submitted by the executive, with the National Social Investment Program responsible for the major increment. The budget of economic recovery and resilience has 4.1 trillion allocated to capital expenditure, recurrent 5.6 trillion, while statutory transfers is 3.3 trillion. The legislature maintained the benchmark of $40 per barrel, crude oil production of 1.86 million barrels per day, an exchange rate of 379 naira to a dollar. Senate also passed 453.2 billion naira 2020 budget of the Niger Delta Development Commission, with a call to the executive to constitute the commission's governing board. Similarly, the House of Representatives has passed the 2021 appropriation bill of 13.5 trillion naira. This amount shows an increase of more than 500 billion naira when compared to the figures earlier presented to the joint session of the National Assembly on the 8th of October 2020 by the President. The Chairman Committee on Appropriation, Representative Betara Aliyu, explained that the increase came about following a presidential request and a communication from the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. Let's take you back to the issue of Kankara. The European Union, we hear, has commended President MUHAMMADU BUHARI for the release and safe return of 334 abducted students of Government Science Secondary School, Kankara, Katsina State. In a statement by Special Rapporteur Lake Chad, West Africa, Joseph Collins, says the release of the abducted student has brought a deserving relief without bloodshed. Hailed Katsina government and security agencies for the swift response. European Union urged Nigerian government to ensure adequate measure of protection of vulnerable population and avert the repeat of previous government lapses in the security of lives and property, while assuring of international support to squash the reign of terror. The Directorate of Defense Media Operations says the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has dealt yet another blow on insurgents operating in the northeast of the country with the elimination of Boko Haram terrorists and destruction of their gun trucks at Ajiri in Borno State. Defense Media Coordinator Major General John Eneche says this was achieved on the night of 19th December 2020, sequel to reports that the terrorists in about 7 gun trucks had attempted to breach Ajiri, a settlement in Mafa local government area of the state. Nigerian Air Force helicopter gunships engaged the terrorists, destroying 2 of the gun trucks and neutralizing several terrorists. And still on matters of security, the Inspector General of Police, Abubakar Adamu, has inaugurated 259 police constabularies for the purpose of serving as community police in Yobe State. Well, they were selected from communities across the 17 area councils of the state and received 3 months training at the Nigeria Police Training College in Maiduguri on the principles of community policing. Adam Ali Yusuf Ali will tell us more.
The new strategy adopted by the Nigerian Police Force of engaging people at the grassroots, particularly the youth, to join voluntarily as community police, informed the decision of these 259 young men to develop the passion and patriotism to contribute their quotas towards securing their communities. They were inaugurated by the representative of the Inspector General of Police, DIG Hyacinth Maidugu Dagala, retired, during a sensitization and awareness campaign on community policing in Yobe State.
Community policing is an old system of policing, but over some times we slept over it. Now, having looked inward, we discovered that there is the need to go back and bring back what was good in the community policing, and that is why we have brought it back in order to bring policing closer to the people.
The idea behind the establishment of community policing is to complement the effort of security agencies to overcome the emerging security challenges confronting the country. Speakers after speakers agreed on the needs for synergy and partnership between Police Community Relation Committee, security agencies, and the public in order to subdue the resurgence of crime in the society.
Government needs the support of everybody to support the security agencies in order to achieve the aims and objectives.
The sensitization program brought together community leaders, vigilante group, serving and retired police and military personnel with advices from them for the inaugurated police constabularies to operate within the context of constituted authorities. In Damaturu, Adam Yusuf Ali, NTA News.
Let's talk ICT. Nigeria is said to be one of the countries with the highest number of internet users. Well, this means acquisition of data on a daily basis, if not at every click of a button, is on the increase. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson in this special report looks at what makes data attractive in the eyes of every internet user and why has it come under scrutiny by consumers in recent times.
Mobile data allows phones to access internet where there is no Wi-Fi. That makes data very important in the day-to-day activities of many, and is even seen in some cases as a basic need of the 21st century. While data is affordable in many countries, there are the growing complaints of its exorbitant cost in Nigeria. Alexandra, like many other people, depends on data for a lot of things, and she feels the heat of acquiring it on a regular basis.
To be honest, I just want them to really do something about it, because it's really taking so much resources from us. I mean, I spend more on data than my toiletries.
It is such complaints and other data-related issues that prompted the federal government to recently announce that measures had been put in place to significantly reduce the average cost of data to less than 50% of January 2020 cost. For instance, the average cost of 1 gigabyte of data has reduced from the January 2020 cost of 1,000 naira to 487 naira in November 2020.
2 days ago, I recharged 2 gig for 1,500, and it's still the same thing. They didn't reduce it. So to me, I just feel like this is a waste of time.
Henry, an ICT expert, seems to have it all figured out with a sense of optimism for the nearest future.
If you can remember, back in December 2019, he set up a committee to work it up, a broadband plan for the country, which covers from 2020 to 2025. And I think they gave a benchmark for each of the year. And what NCC is saying is that it has, from their own projections side, the broadband plans has really reduced the cost of data.
Efforts to hear from the service providers were not successful as they neither responded to calls nor the mails sent to them. The move by the federal government, however, has not only enthused experts like Henry and consumers like Alexandra and Favor, but also opens more opportunities for internet-related businesses. Data is the new oil of the digital economy. You might have heard that time and again. And if past experiences have taught us anything, then expectedly, Nigeria should adopt proper management of its new oil that the federal government, through the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, says it is committed to and in the process. In Abuja, Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Thanks, Joseph, for that. We all can do without data, right? All right, let's head to Lagos as we join Awal. He's going to bring the next set of reports. Awal.
Hello, Ruth. 58 volunteers have added to their wealth of knowledge in responding to emergency situations at a training for Grassroots Emergency Volunteer Corps in Lagos. Hinginojan Adams reports that the training, organized by National Emergency Management Agency NEMA, drew participants from different parts of the state. It is also the fourth in the series.
Emergencies are an inevitable part of life which happen without announcement, leading to serious havoc most times. But when prepared for them, the destruction and number of casualties can be reduced to the barest minimum. Relevant information can also help in preparing for emergencies. Alabi Razak is a community leader, and his quest to serve his people better ordered his step to the training.
I am here to get some ideas, some techniques on disasters, be it natural or man-made.
We have to be prepared at all times. Basic first aid is important. Knowing how to attend to fire is important. So these are the trainings we need.
The training covered various aspects like fire disaster management, personal protection, resuscitation techniques, as well as attending to road crashes casualties.
The essence is to reduce drastically the menace of road crashes. We may have road crashes. Major effect of such is the deaths, injuries happening there. The post-crash management, the injuries are not encouraging. So NEMA is working with all stakeholders, especially road safety, to provide first aid.
In public health risk, you have to keep yourself safe, and you also want to save others. And by use of personal protective equipment, you keep yourself safe and you also keep others safe.
It is expected that the knowledge and skills acquired by these participants, if backed with strong will, can go a long way in reducing mortality rate in emergency situations. In Lagos, Hinginojan Adams, NTA News.
The Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has advocated the use of arts and culture as a soothing balm on the wound inflicted on the nation recently. Annie Daniels reports that the minister emphasized this at the first National Theatre Festival of Unity event to inject hope into Nigerians for a better tomorrow.
The National Theatre was commissioned 44 years ago to encourage the advancement of arts and culture across the country. Information and Culture Minister MUHAMMADU, who was represented, noted that the advent of the coronavirus pandemic and the skirmishes that trailed the NSAS protest, coupled with the need to calm the nerves of the people, prompted the National Theatre Festival of Unity.
And it's one of the best things that is happening in the country as at this minute. For us to come together, forget our differences, forget our ethics, forget our religion, come together under one umbrella to celebrate unity.
Ask yourself, why is it that when Europeans come to Africa, they are attracted to our arts, our craft, to the point that they even make away some of them and refuse to release them? Art has value. Culture has value.
The event featured performances by some Nigerians.
There's strength in numbers. If we come together, we fit take only one stick of broom sweep. No, but if broom plenty, ground go clean. So I think we're all, it will be made a very sweet journey for everybody to achieve their goals if we all come together and have one vision.
The festival is expected to be an annual one, and organizers are hopeful it will unify ethnic groups and discourage individuals who beat the drums of war, causing needless acrimony across the country. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Nationwide. More reports coming up after this timeout. Do stay.
The Council of Our Fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multipurpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, mini mart, and our suites are breathtaking. For reservation, locate us at plot 1710, Tafawa Balewa Way, Area 3, Garikia, Abuja. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
When I don't hear say them they rape about 35% of them girl picking, and even them women safe. Some of them, they even die in the process. Emotional trauma, uncle, they make some of them be like, say, they not did this one again, they don't go, but they live like ghosts. Some of them, shame don't kuku make them go kill themselves. It not good, though. This not be our culture. It not fit be the African way. Why we can't allow this kind of yet enjoy body with us, so they loud where. If you know they fear law where man put, you know they fear Baba God there. You self, you where they cover mouth so you see mini one they happen. You know why here when the Oyibo talk say problem where they bring come out, they solve and sharply. Remember, person wey feel rape, if it's a key person, if it be you, if it be your pikin, if it be person them where you love well. So make we learn they carry women then, like diamond where we be. No grief for rape.
A food crisis is brewing, and our tables will soon be empty if the world's population continues to increase and food production decreases.
We're not producing enough for our population.
I will do better if I can get source, financial source.
Catch new episodes of Farm and Fortune every Monday at 5:30 p.m. on NTA Network.
Palace on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA Network from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Access Bank, Baba Ijebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Gold.com.
Glad you're there. With the peace and nation-building processes on the review, a policy document that will further chart a roadmap for peaceful coexistence among Nigerians is on the way. Kenneth Nanim reports that strategic stakeholders are brainstorming on the matter to come up with desirable recommendations.
Having put in perspective progress and setbacks in Nigeria's journey to nationhood since independence, pointing out various military interventions and civil war of which challenges the nation is still grappling with. In the review of this process, the forum underscores the need for constant discussions amongst Nigerians with a view to promoting ideologies that keep the nation together as one indivisible entity.
The objective of this national policy roundtable are to create a platform for the assessment of relevant state-building and peace-building structures, efforts, intervention, and resources in Nigeria, to assess the challenges that have encumbered state-building and peace-building structures.
All these are geared towards building a nation and building peace. And when the darkness is thickest, then there's hope for a brighter tomorrow.
In a message, Minister of Foreign Affairs applauded various policies put in place by government towards peace building for national development. Also, the Minister of Women Affairs urged policymakers to mainstream roles of women in peace building processes as they are mostly vulnerable during conflict situations.
The role of women in peace building cannot be overemphasized, even at the global level. This has resulted to the adoption of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security.
The forum is optimistic of coming up with implementable recommendations to government. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
And still talking peace, it is an established fact that peace is a necessary component for a community, group or nation to achieve sustainable development. It is in line with this that a peace advocacy group, the Global Peace Foundation, takes the message of peaceful coexistence among Nigerians to the palace of the traditional ruler of Kuje in Abuja.
We need to work together. Evil will not disappear among us if we stop working together. But when we work together, we will stop evil from spreading. Evil is growing because some people are now saying, oh, it's not my problem, it's not our problem, it's everybody's problem. We are members of one family regardless of any social difference. Members of one family under God.
The Gomo of Kuje Town, Alhaji Haruna Tanko Jibrin, acknowledged the group's efforts at peace building and asked government and the people to collaborate towards ending banditry and other forms of crime in the land.
No matter your religion, either a Christian or Muslim, Quran does not encourage any fights. Bible does not encourage any fights. If God will send such things to the minds of those who doesn't want peace, God will really answer our prayer and let them come back to where they have gone to, because they have gone astray.
The awareness campaign by the Global Peace Foundation, tagged One Family Under God, continues with visits to communities around the Federal Capital Territory. The Muslim Ummah Islamic Trust, in collaboration with Center for Religious Dialogue, has held the 8th Annual Dialogue Lectures in Abuja. Suleiman Abdulwahab reports that the lecture, which is aimed at teaching on how to serve God in major religions.
The speakers were emphatic that both religions are serving the same God, and for that reason, the country needs to fight corruption together, insurgency, and make sure people love one another, as propagated by both Islam and Christianity.
you see that you begin to love one another. And you begin to see that this life is not something really that we need to struggle for, because the ultimate is that you have a responsibility.
Dialogue, let's come together, let's reason together, let's agree. Those things that are causing trouble, let's remove them. And
loving your neighbors, your Muslim brothers and sisters, and your neighbors, the Christians, the non-Christians. When you love them, you bring peace. You invite them to peace. Peace is all about Islam.
They also urge the youth to emulate good work of some patriotic Nigerians and avoid the negativity that will destroy their future.
Once our youth are upright, it means that society is upright. Once the youth turn to be something else, then there will be difficulties, just as we are passing through in Nigeria today. Most of the atrocities and nefarious activities that are being masterminded in this country are carried by the youth.
The youth here, especially in Nigeria, does not know the importance of dawah. So we have to enlighten more people on the importance of dawah. And that is the reason that I congratulate the Muslim Ummah for making such a wonderful program, so that they should be enlightening people on the field of dawah.
Other vices that impede youth development were also discussed. From Abuja, Suleiman Tobu Abdul Wahab, NTA News.
In response to the rising number of Almajiri and the need to reinvent the Islamic education system in Nigeria, a high-level workshop on funding and legislation was held in Abuja. Salwal Khalil Ibrahim reports that critical stakeholders convened to find lasting and sustainable solutions to the age-long problems of Almajiri and its related challenges.
An estimated 10 million Almajiri are on the streets, mostly in the north. Begging, a sorrow sight indeed, with an imminent danger.
The source of this scourge is actually parental irresponsibility. The children at the age of 3, 4, 5 are being taken away from their mothers.
This is a challenge before the federal government. So, incorporating this Angaya Islamic system of education in the universal basic education system is a possible solution. But achieving this comes with the issue of funding. This gathering, therefore, is to come up with the funding and legislative strategies that will enable the Almajiri child reinvent the wheels and have a promising future.
That every child should get his education under the care of his parents. This is part of the reason why we took the decision to start repatriating all Almajiris back to their state of origin.
Let us first get this money out. Then let us come back to the Constitution.
And just because they are not in the conventional school, they are neglected. They should be covered.
We're talking to the governors to see how we can set up teams within each state with the support of the federal government.
You need everybody on board, the schools, the government, etc., etc.
A greater gathering is expected at the first quarter of 2021 to come up with a long-term model for a sustainable Almajiri system of education in Nigeria. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
All right, our next up will be Makurdi and Fatima, who guide us. Fatima.
Thank you, Ruth. With few days to Christmas Day celebration, prices of food items in the markets are on the increase. Iveren Solomon brings us an update on the prices of food items in the market in Makurdi, the Benue State capital.
A visit to the high-level and Wadata markets indicates that price of food items are on the increase. The price of cows range from 50 to 400,000 naira.
All right, we apologize for the loss of audio there from Makurdi. If we can fix that, we'll definitely rejoin them. The campaign to stem the tide of irregular migration has continued to resonate as the world marks International Migrants Day. Ngozi Silva Technical reports that some non-governmental organizations have used a series of activities to drum the message into the minds of Nigerian youths.
The scholarship. Oh, okay, the scholarship. Yes, this is the scholarship. You know. You don't understand what? I paid for this. My friend, come here. Come here.
These are some of the experiences of young Nigerians striving to leave the shores of the nation for greener pasture, thereby falling victims of human trafficking and other vices. African Youths and Growth Foundation, in partnership with other NGOs, have been in the forefront of the campaign against irregular migration with the launch of the program Migration Information and Communication Campaign, MIC Nigeria.
We introduced the MIC Nigeria campaign to enlighten critical mass of young Nigerians and other Nigerians alike to appreciate the regular pathway.
For the children that are here, let me tell you, there is nothing as dangerous as irregular migration. There's nothing that exposes you to any kind of harm as irregular migration.
This year, the event focused on capturing the interest of secondary school students and undergraduates to drive home the message.
What I've learned is to always migrate the right way and never engage ourselves in irregular migration.
The theme for this year is Reimaging Human Mobility. In Abuja, Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
The decision of the federal government to reopen its land borders has been described by trade policy experts as apt and commendable. While speaking on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, the guest laid emphasis on assessment of the situation of pre- and post-border closure. Alika Okpanachi Arua has more to tell us.
Nigeria closed its land borders for 60 months to sustain efforts in checking the menace of smuggling and other illicit cross-border activities. With some of the borders now reopened, experts are calling for thorough vigilance and cooperation of neighboring countries to check the excesses of smugglers.
Between the day, the 20th of August, that these borders were closed, and now, let's have a clear documentation of actions taken, the costs and the benefits to the country.
The question of sustainability of reopening of the border is key and very important, so that we don't go back to say, no, we are locking down again.
Guests on Good Morning Nigeria appealed to Nigerians to always patronize locally made products to encourage farmers and local manufacturers, as well as grow Nigeria economy.
Today, after 16 months of border closure, Honorable Minister is there. She will help this nation to establish proper manufacturers and support them.
What we put to our neighbors and the reason for the closure and also the what needed to be attained for the opening of the border is that we required Benin and Niger republics to adhere to the ETLS protocols, that the World Trade Organization rule of origin on goods must be respected.
The federal government has promised to reopen other borders still under closure on or before 31st December 2020 in Abuja. Alika Okpanachi, Arua, NTA News.
People of Rivers State will continue to benefit from the dividend of democracy under the present state government. Well, this is attributed to the state governor, Nyesom Wike, at the inauguration of Emeya-Elenwo New Road in Port Harcourt, the state capital. The new road is described as a landmark achievement of the government.
What we are trying to do is to improve and enhance the value of property around this area. So we are very grateful that the communities gave us the support.
Our state counterpart, Umaru Fintiri, performed the inauguration ceremony.
Landmark projects in Port Harcourt, the heartbeat of the South-South. It is equally gratifying. I want to ask you, my good friend, that you should march on. Don't look back.
All right, let's head to Enugu to find out what's the latest there, and Mina will definitely guide us. Mina? Okay, we can get to Mina right now in Enugu, so let's move on from this end. Federal government has launched a 42.3 billion naira 10-year strategic plan of the National Blood Transfusion Service. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Hanire, says the plan, which spans through 2021 to 2030, will ensure a good quality, safe and sustainable blood supply with 100% voluntary, non-remunerated blood donation. Basi Ita Ipang reports.
The Federal Ministry of Health report of 2018 reveals that about 18% of newly acquired HIV and other transmissible diseases like hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and syphilis in Nigeria are due to unsafe blood transfusions. This, the Minister of Health representative made a case for the passage of the National Blood Service Commission Bill into law.
It is therefore imperative that blood service in the country is properly coordinated and regulated.
Stakeholders at the meeting noted that delivering on this vision would rely on more robust quality management system, robust regulatory frameworks, appropriate quality policies and processes. Development partners promise to continue to support Nigeria to ensure high level of safe blood for its citizens in line with WHO standard. The National Coordinator, National Blood Transfusion Service, noted that the 1 million unit blood bank is achievable if Nigerians imbibe the spirit of blood donation.
Stand on whose standards that only ELISA screening is accepted as the minimum for screening for 40 TIs. Rapid screening is therefore not acceptable and will not be allowed in Nigeria.
The 1 million safe blood units, an initiative of the National Blood Transfusion Service to improve and make available enough safe blood unit for Nigerians and other products, also received the minister's endorsement at the forum. Basi Taipang, NTA.
More from the health scene. Spotlight COVID-19. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control has confirmed 501 new COVID-19 infections in 14 states and the FCT, bringing the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria to 78,434. Of these new cases, Lagos has 218, the FCT has 112, Kaduna 53, Plateau 24, and Katsina has 21 new infections. Others are Kano with 16 new cases, 14 in Yobe, 10 in Ondo, 9 in Ogun, 7 in Edo, 5 in Bayelsa, 4 each in Rivers and Borno states, while Osun and Ekiti states have 2 new cases each. And on cases per state chart, Lagos leads with 26,708. Next is the FCT with 9,627 cases, followed by Kaduna with 4,504 cases, and Plateau has 4,262 total cases. Some 68,303 patients have been treated and discharged, while the death toll has risen to 1,221 so far. All right, let's rejoin Enugu and Mina. I hear she's already on standby. Mina.
Hello, Ruth. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. As the second wave of COVID-19 sweeps across countries and cities, the Enugu state government warns residents against disregarding safety protocols, especially in the peak of Christmas festivities. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ikeobi, gave the warning while updating journalists on the COVID-19 situation in Enugu state. Susan Eze has details.
Enugu State Government, according to the State Commissioner for Health, has been involved in key response activities since the virus first surfaced in the state.
The state government has been renovating general hospitals, building amenity facilities within general hospitals, setting up cottage hospitals with isolation facilities, at least 4 of them.
As Christmas activities gear up, with a second wave of COVID-19 sweeping across the globe, health authorities warn residents to continue to adhere strictly to the preventive protocols.
This is the Christmas season where we expect to have a lot of functions happening in the state. Everybody, everyone, including you and I, need to take responsibility. If you must step out for a function, ensure you wear your face mask. Ensure you wash your hands so that you limit the spread should you have it.
So far, Enugu State has 1,372 confirmed cases, 1,321 discharged, 30 active cases, and 21 COVID-19 related deaths. In case of emergencies, residents are advised to call the numbers 081-825550 or 090-22-333-833. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
To curb the spike of fire incidents in the state during this dry season and forthcoming Christmas holidays, the Enugu State Fire Service is firing campaigns on fire prevention techniques. Jude Abugu reports that the state is working towards a zero fire outbreak this Yuletide season.
Domestic and industrial fire outbreaks are usually on the increase during dry season, with over 70% occurring in the markets. For instance, in 2019, the National Emergency Management Agency disclosed that almost all the states in Nigeria recorded one or more market fire incidents. With Christmas holidays few days away, it is the desire of Enugu State Fire Service that there shall be no fire incidents in the state, especially in markets. The Obaward Bank Market is one of the major markets in the state that will have one of these rapid response firefighting trucks procured by the government stationed on standby to nip any fire outbreak in the bud.
What we have been doing have been getting results in terms of the awareness and people's attitude towards the fire service and other fire safety tips that was taught to them.
The traders also have a part to play in ensuring zero market fire outbreaks in the state by avoiding activities that trigger fire incidents, such as carelessness in use of electrical appliances, cooking gas, firecrackers, bush burning, and hoarding of fuel in their shops. In Enugu, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
And that's the contribution from Enugu. The news continues in Maiduguri, where Mohammed Ibrahim is standing by after this commercial break.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President MUHAMMADU BUHARI is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android, Intelsat 901 degree east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
24. A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
StarTimes channel 101 and Free TV channel 703.
Join us.
Plus on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Access Bank, Baba Ijebu, Lipton, and Close Up in association with Gold.com.
Maiduguri. 704 small-scale entrepreneurs have benefited from disbursement of over 35 million naira as part of poverty alleviation drive of Borno State Governor. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum performed the disbursement ceremony at Damboa Road and Kologumna wards of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Mohammed Goni reports.
Beneficiaries of the cash support of 50,000 naira each include 304 members of Bama Cap Sellers Cooperative Society who are displaced from their communities since 2014 but continue with the trade in Maiduguri to sustain themselves. Other beneficiaries of the gesture were 400 members of Borno Cap Dry Cleaners Cooperative at Kologumna Ward of the Metropolis. Elated by the gesture, the beneficiaries said the 50,000 naira cash support will in no small way boost their trade.
We appreciate the effort of His Excellency for assisting us with the sum of 50,000 naira per every member.
Governor Wagana Umara, who was impressed by the hard work, self-reliance and resilience of the beneficiaries from Bama and those from the metropolis, assured them of continued support.
Many of our people have completely lost their means of livelihood as a result of the insurgency. And empowerment is one of the items in our 10 facts agenda. So in fulfillment of our electionary promises, we are doing so in order to empower teeming youths of Borno State so that they should be gainfully employed.
The governor charged them to ensure judicious utilization of the money to add value to their lives. Chairman of the Empowerment Committee, Sayin Abuja, and Managing Director, Borno Renaissance and Microfinance Bank, Dr. Bella Ibrahim said the gesture was part of the efforts of government to alleviate poverty and enhance economic base of the citizenry. They added that 1 billion naira has so far been disbursed to targeted beneficiaries in the metropolis within the year and that plans are underway to commence impact assessment. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
The federal government of Nigeria has completed construction of road and drainage network at Ramat Polytechnic, Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, under the Ecological Fund Office of the Secretary to Government of the Federation, with commitment to do more to the state. President MUHAMMADU, represented by Member House Committee on Ecology, Adosani Kuri, inaugurated and handed over the project at a ceremony within the institution. The report.
Pray we will come and meet the existing project in perfect condition.
The project consists of 2.3-kilometer road and dual drainage network within the Borno State-owned Ramat Polytechnic, executed by Office of the SGF within 1 year, following approval by the Federal Executive Council in 2018. Representative of the President, Adosani Kuri, stated that the completed project is expected to address flood and erosion control as requested by the Polytechnic. He stressed the commitment of the federal government to execute all projects that will lay foundation for a virile and prosperous path to national development.
This kind of projects are all over the country. This is just one of it. And I'm telling you, like this, another one is coming up elsewhere. And you can see the rector himself was even requesting for more. And by God's grace, we will write a report, a very comprehensive report, and take it back, for more projects like this.
Borno State Governor, represented by his Chief of Staff, Professor Isa Hussein Marte, appreciated the BUHARI administration for the projects which has transformed the institution and positioned it for effective vocational and technical education, much needed to address the root causes of insurgency. Permanent Secretary, Ecological Fund, Office of the SGF, Dr. Habiba Lawal, represented by Engineer Odoji Nwachuku, explained that the first phase project was initiated through request for urgent intervention by the Rector of the Polytechnic to avoid environmental degradation.
The project to the benefiting community is expected to add
achieve the dual purpose of enabling the host community to take over and exercise ownership of the project to ensure its maintenance and sustainability.
The project cost 786 million naira, executed within 15 months. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Maiduguri. It's back to Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Mohammed. In view of the rising cases of COVID-19 in the country, the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, has directed that all government offices be shut down till further notice. By this directive, civil servants are expected to stay at home from Monday, December 21st, 2020. Bright Butcher reports that this is part of measures being put in place by the government to strengthen safety measures against the dreaded virus.
Following the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic, new cases are now on the increase, which necessitates the strengthening of measures to curb infections. The Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, in a broadcast, warned against complacency, noting that from 225 confirmed new cases in October, the number has risen to over 77,000 in December across the country, with 32 persons confirmed positive last week in Imo State. Governor Uzodinma says, following this development, he is directing strict enforcement of all COVID-19 protocols. He further stresses the need for civil servants to comply with the stay-at-home directive.
Wearing face mask in public is henceforth absolutely compulsory. Mobile courts have been deployed all over the state to try any person caught without wearing face mask. Equally, all COVID-19 safety protocols will henceforth be strictly enforced. These include the provision of wash hand stands and sanitizers in markets and worship places. Any person or persons caught not observing these safety protocols will be summarily prosecuted in the mobile court.
Governor Uzodinma assures that the directive will be reviewed regularly to determine further measures that may be necessary. In Owerri, Bright Ibuchu, NTA News.
Let's talk sports, and Bade Adelea will guide us.